Let's talk about this Medusa, especially against the Brood. In my estimation, Medusa's a rough one against Brood because that split shot's going to go to spiders rather than heroes. Is that correct? Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, it's also about the Mystic Snake. Of course, you don't get Spiderlings in lane anymore, right? But when
Hmm.
Brood starts playing her game and starts looking to boot the enemy carry out, yeah, you're not going to be really too happy to see that Mystic Snake bouncing onto all those Spiderlings, and it's just a numbers game at the end of the day, and it is going to
Hmm.
be most likely bouncing there. So basically, there is seemingly no answer to this Brood Mother as soon as laning stage begins to break down. Medusa's going to head into the jungle, try and farm as much as she can in her own jungle before Brood then boots her out into the triangle. And then from there, it's going to be up to Nemiga to try and make some space elsewhere on the map for their Medusa to farm in. Because Brood Mother, right now, I don't see a great answer to it.
Hmm. So it's very much going to be like King Canute shouting at the tide. There's not much they can do about it. They're not building any dikes here on Namiga Gaming. We've got last picks for both teams. What final bans can we expect Extremum to put out to solidify their lead? They've already done a Monkey King.
Any offlaners that I think can, because I'm assuming the Pango's mid, so any offlaners that can deal with Brood, I'm honestly running out of heroes. Yeah, Timber's still in the pool. Maybe you get rid of Timber just for safekeeping, and anything with area. Maybe Bristleback. Honestly, I might just go for Timber Bristleback just to be safe. I mean, I know you have a Hoodwink with Break, but it's not immediate. So
Yeah.
if you want to completely protect the Brood, I feel like then you're
Yeah.
out of options. There's a Timber.
Okay. I think these are like I think Extremum they'd be okay playing versus the Timber. Like I think they have tools against it, but at this stage like I agree. What else do you ban even, right? Like what else do you even need to ban in this offlane position? Maybe the Centaur is next, but with last pick and still your carry to go, you could still look to heavily punish that with your own ranged hero. The Miga,
Hmm.
in the meantime, are looking to just protect the Dusa. There's a PL ban. Probably going to see the Ursa as well, which will trigger probably the Centaur ban from Extremum, just to make sure that they don't have anything that can just completely run them over, as Alvaro was saying. That's got to be like the number one pressing issue on their mind, making sure that the safe laner isn't going to be able to bring this immediate 1-2 punch along with the Brood.
Are Extremum looking for a big carry here to have space made for it by the Brood, or are they just looking for something that can play tempo?
Either works, depending on their strategy, honestly. You have good team to go hunting, so tempo carries like Ursa, for example, work fine. In fact, Ursa considered in many cases with Diffusal Blade a decent Medusa counter. Alternatively, you can play like a pretty hard carry and try to go into the late game, taking advantage of it. A bit riskier against Dusa, but possible, right? Because you do have some good core-to-core magic against Dusa, like, I don't know, say Terrorblade, for example. Not against Lion, but you get the idea. Something like that that can secure your game. It really does depend on what Extreme wants to play, like what they're more comfortable with. There's a
Go
Razor.
for that Razor.
Is that Pango off then?
You asked for a Razor.
Yeah,
I
that's
did, but I
right.
wanted for Extreme. I mean, I wanted the Pango mid. Aincrad is such a good Pango. Don't get me wrong. I think that Chosen One can also play a decent Pango, but I really want to see Aincrad Pango. At least if they're gonna lose this game and I don't get to see Aincrad Pango at all in these qualifiers, I'm angry.
Last pick coming up here for Extreme. I'm imagining it's going to be that carry. They banned out the Drow, which is not something that we'd mentioned. They're going for the Weaver. First time I've seen a Weaver.
Wow.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Hard to lock down with this Nimiga lineup, certainly.
I was just thinking that exactly because we banned out the Tide Hunter. That was the last ban for Extremum before the Razor pick was instantly locked in. I was thinking maybe they were thinking Ursa, maybe they were thinking something else, but now with Razor being the pick, you're going to want to look to force the issue of hey, these guys have very little lockdown. It's basically just a Lion and a Pangolier if they can string that together. Maybe Stone Gaze, but as a Weaver, that shouldn't be really too big of a
No.
concern for you. It's a weird last pick, but of course with that mana break talent and being able to buy a diffusal blade, it is one to consider here versus the Dusa. I think maybe Slark was on their mind as well, but I think this is the pick.
How
what
about
I'm
you, Avo?
seeing
What do you think
here
about this draft?
What I see here, if I'm Extremum, is Extremum just goes, Nemiga banning out the Drow. That's interesting. I mean, Nefrit is known for playing ranged carries, but why ban all the ranged carries? Oh, what if this Razor is supposed to be an off lane? And you look at the bans, you think of that idea. You know, Aincrad likes playing Pang, and you go, yeah, you're not going to bamboozle me with that one. And so you pick up a Weaver that makes Razor completely useless in the off lane. Weaver actually a Nefrit comfort pick back when the hero was viable. Nefrit used to try to pick it up a couple of times. And it's pretty solid against most of the lineup. So honestly, a good idea. I think it was a good read by Extremum. I like the draft this time again.
Well, excellent drafting then. I think we're both very positive. We're all very positive about this Extremum draft. Can Nemiga prove us wrong and turn this into a game 2? Or will it be them out of the tournament and out of TI? I'm going to hand it over to you guys. Take us away.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, we're going to have to see because I think this is, like you said, a really good read in the draft. I honestly feel like, I hate to say this, but I feel like the Razor pick is not going to do really anything this game. I mean, who does he lasso in these fights? How does he stay on top of their targets with the not the lasso, with the static link active? It's just, what happens here?
Yeah, doesn't seem like the greatest offlane Razor here. As the point of the offlane Razor, unlike the mid lane Razor, is definitely to be able to destroy that lane, right? Mid lane Razor, just because the timings that you have with your levels, you're useful enough, like the 10 to 15 minute mark, 10 to 20, honestly, you're strong, even if your lane isn't going great. Offlane Razor is a different story. Because if you itemize, or if you skill build it to go for farm, with like Plasma Field build, oh, my lane is going badly, I'm going to go Plasma Field and recover. But recover by taking Pango's farm? Recover by taking Fuse's farm? No, sorry, you're a 3. Yeah. You better stay poor.
Especially on that last point, I hate to cut you off because I think you have more to say here, but especially because you're playing against a Brood who is already going to reduce your map, right? So it's like you have 3 heroes farming, 3 camps? Like, it's not really what... Oh, I don't know. I think, like... It's really tough here, Avo. I think this Extremum draft, like you said, they were not bamboozled whatsoever by this Flex Pangolier pick. They know who they're playing against.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy they weren't bamboozled by the Pangolier pick. I think they were very set up. I mean, the bans also kind of indicated something like that. I don't think they were immediately thinking it was the Razor pick, like when they were seeing the bans, but something along those lines. I think the bans were good for Nemiga, but we could read. I don't think Weaver's a bad hero. He can fulfill the both tempo carry role to a decent late game role. Definitely not good enough against Adusa, but since the matchup is pretty solid for Weaver, you could be strong like 30-35 minutes.
Yeah, of course. That 20 mana break talent, of course, works with your Geminate attacks. As would imply, otherwise that would be a quite worthless talent. Means you can take the fight early to the Dusa, which is not something she's going to be too keen of, especially because we don't have the best lockdown to try and punish a potential aggressive play from the Weaver. As we can see, Lodin, big old buff arms on the Ancient Apparition now as he slowly turns into some dark blue ice with the more immortals they give him.
You know what he looks like? He looks like Genos from One Punch Man. Those arms are exactly like Genos.
Okay, I know.
Lizard. You know what Lizard turned into in the Animator. That's the character. That's Lodin. I mean, it looks exactly like the Ancient Apparition.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, well, not exactly, because the guy's a human or a cyborg rather, and Ancient Apparition's an ice cream cone. But more or less.
It's not an ice cream cone, okay? He's an elemental force of nature that's been brooding in the cold and snowy environments for eons, okay? Give some respect to him.
Yeah, like I said, a snow cone.
Yeah, there it is. Fair enough. Snow Cone here is going to do nicely to create a bit of space for Kiritych in these early levels. Mystic Snake level 1. What's the answer here to the Broodmother? Like, Brood hits level 6. What do Nemiga have to do? How do they play around this, if at all?
I think you rotate the Pango and start to hunt down the Brood. The only problem I have with a Pango versus Brood matchup, it just sucks for Pango, is that when Brood goes up a wall, Pango can't follow, Like, you can follow once with a shield crash, and then she's gone forever. And as a Brood, the best way to play against Pango is just stay near walls, and you force him to bonk himself constantly. However, I do think that Aincrad's going to have a really easy mid lane against the Ember. It's just,
okay.
I think this matchup is pretty Pango.
Would you be able to elaborate on that? Because this is something in the draft that you quipped on very quickly, but of course we didn't get to talk about it too much. You said that this is not going to be as bad as a matchup for the Pangolier. Why is that going to be the case here? I mean, as we can start to see the reasons.
I'd say it's a win. I mean, Lucky Shot makes Ember have a hard time getting last hits. He's close enough to you. Ember doesn't usually stay away from the creep wave, right? Yeah, you can't take away the Flame Guard, but since you can swashbuckle away, let him push the creep wave, you hit under tower. And once you get over Corrosion, you have enough to deal with the little amount of armor that Ember has with Lucky Shot plus that. Of course, you're very dependent on the on the lucky shot procs, right? So as most Pango laning is, right? Yeah, it's a bit dependent on luck. That's always the point. But if you play this matchup accordingly, usually you just trade with Ember endlessly. And actually, good Pangos will even go for 1 point in Shield Crash. We actually see Mellor's doing this if he's ever against an Ember mid. You know, they have flexed him sometimes. He would definitely do this. Going for the Shield Crash, and then you mitigate a lot of the Flame Guard damage as well. It's really smart.
Yeah, Mellor.
Einkat might not choose to. Sorry, I was going to say Einkat might choose not to do this because he might want to have a better mid game, but not because the matchup is bad.
Yeah, and there we go. There's the weakness of Weaver versus Razor, the Chosen One. You know, only stealing that 9 little damage. A double air spike, though, is pretty darn good out from Heaven, doing his best. Top lane, are they going for a bit of a skirmish versus Kiritych? Cold Feet will not proc onto Blizzy, as they'll hit him with a little bit more damage as he retreats. Doesn't have any regen here. Of course, in the web, still gaining a bit of passive regen. And there's going to be the courier just in the nick of time. But I was surprised by how much Melojul was not using or attempting to use Sleight of Fist to dodge these swashbuckles. For the most part, yeah, they've been exactly like that from Aincrad, just kind of point blank, you know, not really looking to reposition yourself for swashbuckle, minimizing the time it takes for those attacks to come out, which makes it hard to dodge as an effort. He's got Sakuchi in 3 more seconds. They missed the Earth Spike, so no kill threat here versus the Weaver. Top lane, though, there is some kill threat as Chuvash getting the kill onto Lodin. They might go for more into Kiritych.
Kiritych, they hit him with the Acorn shot, slight slow, not enough. Even with the Orb of Venom, he's able to survive this. But, you know, as AA, the line as to where you die for sure and you're actually being useful to your carry is so close. They're so close to each other, those two lines, that it's very difficult for Lodin to play this lane. In general, this whole game is going to be tough for Lodin because the Brute is going to eat you up every single time.
Yeah, we've got a lot of, if you guys recall the Lycan patch that we just escaped now that Necrobook was deleted from the game. Lodin, here he goes yet again, actually. Might just take another death. Good bushwhack here. Should secure the kill, as he's going to look at least for a return kill onto Chuvash. Will not be as lucky, unfortunately, as the Squirrel a bit too evasive for the Cold Feet. But essentially, this game is going to turn into a Lycan with Shapeshift and Necrobook 3s just running at supports. Ember is going to do this. Brood's going to do this. Weaver is going to seemingly do this as well with all the mobility he has, because we simply just don't have the tools to stop and punish these heroes.
Yeah, it's very... It's tough. The Ancient Apparition is also food this game, so I feel like you have one less hero, honestly, in the early game, and or actually the whole game. There will be a point where Lodin questions why he exists. Is it just to feel pain? Is that the only purpose he has this game? Is it to Ice Blast and then die?
It's to Ice Blast. That's what it's for. I mean, Ice Blast is your only hope of trying to get a kill.
Oh, no, it's not even that useful though. This game, it's just not that great. I mean, you stop the Sunray, sure, but you have no tanky core that you're bursting. Unless Brute goes for like Guardian Greaves build, it's not really going to stop any healing either.
She might be. Actually, Blizzy's got Arcane Boots queued up. And of course, it's nice versus the Insatiable Hunger, but of course, it's not going to do anything to Weaver, right? That's why you haven't brought him up, because it's HP, you know, removal. As they actually rotate Chuvash, there's a kill onto the Chosen One down bottom. So this offlane Razor off to not such a great start. 2-2-0 build so far. So I mean, you brought this up as we loaded into the game, right? What do we skill here? What's the build on the Razor? Because it's tempting to, after this first death, go, okay, guess I'll just farm, but there's just not enough space for that this game.
Yep. If you're farming, you get flamed by your other cores, because they need farm too, right? And you also, I mean, you have a good core, at least in Pango, to take the dangerous farm, which allows those to take a safe farm. And then maybe you can go with Gank Squad Razor. You have a good Gank Squad. Lion and Ancient Apparition just shooting his Ice Blast.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It is a tough game for sure. The Chosen One didn't get given the best lane, especially compared to the impact I'm expecting Broodmother to have into this mid game.
Okay, there's a rotation from Heaven into the mid lane as they look to try and get some tower damage in with the wagon, baiting out even the Sleight of Fist here. But Melojul, with the Remnant back, should be relatively safe and sound. Another kill into the Chosen One as line is showing mid lane. But with the DD rune, Aincrad really looking to force the issue here.
Yeah, Melojul doesn't want to get caught out, so he's just going to continue putting remnants defensively and try to annoy this. Aincrad, though, doing his best, honestly, to make sure this early game goes in Amiga favor. And Lodin's like, guys, I found my utility. It's away from the Broodmother. I have been alive for a whole 50 seconds.
That's true.
So,
and speaking of the Broodmother, she's, congratulations, it's 3 spiders, hooray! She's now a full mother as she runs around with the lynx.
How many do you need to start getting help from the government? Is this enough? Does she start now swarming in terms of gold?
I'm not sure. I was going to go for the StarCraft reference, but we don't even have anyone to wall her off this game. And that's kind of like my concern. Like, how do you stop her from just immediately booting the Dusa now that she's farming here in the jungle? Like, Kiritich is maybe going to farm 2 camps here and then leave.
He's ahead of you, dude. She's just out. Not even going to wait until it happens. Just going to go into the jungle. I mean, she's not going to take it over it until she takes tier 1 tower, and then maybe Pango can rotate and start punishing. Lodine, careful. This is like a horror movie, and Lodine, you seem to be the blonde right now.
All right, Aincrad, though, he did just pick up a bunch of lings real quick off of the swashbuckle in, so a bit of a gold injection for him, as he needs to get this wall built up, the barracks, the 2 supply depots, and maybe even an underground bunker to make sure that they can actually defend against the rush here.
Yeah, Blizzy, get caught out. And with Rolling Thunder, can they kill him? Oh, the Bushwhack actually saved Blizzy from a Rolling Thunder. On point, Chuvashu. Now the Rolling Thunder still coming out. Blizzy trying to avoid this. Still gets nicked. There's a second stun. He's out of mana. Colty will proc, and they kill him. In fact, Lodine! Oh, the retribution! He gets revenge! This man, the myth, the legend.
It's a redemption arc here for Lodine. They pick up the kill onto the Broodmother. That is a lot of valuable space. Now, they are committing quite a few resources. In the meantime, Chuvash is able to plant a pretty deep ward into the jungle. Now, Yul has rotated top lane, but of course, with a Remnant, he is off and away. This also frees up Nefrit to just apply as much pressure as he feels in this bottom lane, and currently that means pushing a top tier 1 tower. What can Nemiga do? If they TP and try and defend this, Broodmother just takes her top tier 1, and you probably don't even defend this bottom one either. And even if you do boot Nefrit, he's more than happy to go in jungle. It's a lose-lose here, so I guess their best bet is to make sure they can secure as much farm for the Deuce as they can, and that means taking the fight to the Broodmother. Bushwhack.
There's a little
we'll catch Aincrad, but we don't have Sharpshooter yet, so no chance really for a kill.
And with Sharpshooter and Spiderlings, you start having the Broodmother bursting out anything. But you see the movements by Nemiga, despite them being successful in stopping the Brood from expanding the map, have still, Broodmother alone has already created space for both Meliul and for Nefrit, just by existing, right? Because they had to rotate so many heroes, including the Pango. That's why oftentimes you want the offlaner to be the one to rotate, because if it has to be the mid laner, then the mid laner can't go help other lanes. Extremum now going for the counter kill. Aincrad steering chains. Aincrad doesn't have time to get away. Yeah, the Bushwhack is going to guarantee the kill.
They know there's a ward here now, but it's not only going to get the kill onto the mid laner, it's going to get a kill onto a Lion, it's going to net them the tower. It's not looking so good right now for Nemiga. It's all coming into play here, and again, that's why I highlighted the ward earlier. This ward is exactly what gets them the kill. At first, I was baffled that they were smoking, because only the supports were still at level 4 and 5 respectively. Ember doesn't have any key items here. That was just a ward. That was just a smoke gank thanks to the vision that they're able to get. Again, because of the Broodmother effect. We've now taken the tower. Broodmother into the jungle she goes, and it's going to be quite some effort here if they want to uproot her from this dire side of the map.
Meliul, okay, finds Lodine yet again. Here are the Spiderlings, and Lodine's like, no, please.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Straight from Alien. Lodine back again to dying. Again, not really his fault. It's the nature of the Ancient Apparition, and it's a lot extreme also to rotate into this mid lane. They actually took the bottom tier 1 tower, which now means Nefrit can go take other objectives like this mid tier 1. Spiderlings are here. They want both supports. Oh, but Spiderlings actually got cleared immediately. Bushwhack only catches the Dusa. There's a Supernova in the middle of the fight. They should be able to break the egg easily. The Stone Gaze, though, is not going to save Kiritich from that immediate Sharpshooter plus one Spiderlings combo. Chosen one, next target. In comes Lodine. He has the Ice Left, but Nefrit does time lapse in time. However, he's still hit, which means Nefrit will end up going down. Any hits for the Chosen One. Another great push by Chuvashu as Blizzy wants to go back in. He sees Lodine, while Lodine is holding his ground. He's not going to let himself be bullied by this Broodmother again.
Just want to verify something real quick. Okay, because it looked like to me he got hit by 2 Ice Blasts there. Because he got hit by the... No, there's no way. No. I'm being dumb. There's no way you can get hit by 2 Ice Blasts. He time-lapsed into the Ice Blast is what happened, right?
Yes. Yeah. He time-lapsed into it. Yeah. Well, I mean, not into it. He was dead. He was going to get hit regardless. Time-lapse didn't push him far enough.
I thought he took. Did he take? It's too late. I had the Death Storm up. I saw the HP removal flag. I didn't see if he got hit by the burst damage on that. Unfortunately, my eyes are failing me in my young age.
I'm pretty certain he did. I'm pretty certain he did get hit by the burst damage. I think he was dead regardless once he got hit by the debuff, though, unfortunately.
They are going to be able to boot Blizzy, but again, space created. That's, again, the Chosen One as well as Aincrad and Heaven all alike. Just, wasting a bit of time. Meliul is just farming safely here. He's got a Remnant back. Not scared of the Chosen One anyway. There it goes. Enjoy my 7 damage. And that is the waves properly pushed. Nemiga trying their best to at least fortify their jungle area to make sure there's some space for them to farm. Kiritych at least joining that fight. Has the Yasha, but I mean, the Tier 1 tower still taken down, so the map already shrinking here for Nemiga.
And look at this, by the way. It seems like Broodmother's going to go for the Aura build, but instead of rushing for the Greaves that a lot do, instead pipe immediately to prevent that Ancient Apparition from existing. Once again, Broodmother just making sure that there's a hero on the enemy team that can't do anything, and I think it's going to be a pretty successful game in that regard. Extreme have already taken a bit more control over the map with a slight gold advantage here over Nemiga. But Nemiga found some good farm both on the Dusa and on the Pangolier. It's the Chosen One who's going to struggle as we go into this mid game.
Aincrad looking for the kill. Yeah, the Spiderlings get vision. You ever see that Pyrian Flax video from like 6 years ago when he was going on about how much he hates Silencer?
Yes. I mean, I've seen all the old... Like, you mean the one where he used to draw a hero and he explained them?
Yep, exactly. That's the one. That's basically how Lion and Ancient Apparition feel about this Broodmother. They just can't play the game.
Yes.
Like, it's as simple as that, right? It's the rage of being just global silenced, except you're not even silenced. It's just spiders. It's just spiders. Yeah. Broodmother, you go, here's a complex draft with strengths and weaknesses, right? And then you just get brooded, and she refuses to elaborate on any of her points, just spiders, and that's it. And then you unfortunately don't really get to do much. I'd be so impressed if Nemiga can actually get any work done, because there goes Pangolier already dead, and yep, there's the burst damage onto the Chosen One. 2 kills there for the Sunny Skies of G. There's a T-Tier, and Nefrit looks like he wants to usher the team to do Roshan with him, and in fact, they will oblige him, sending over the Spiderlings.
Yep. And here's the issue, like, a lot of people just consider the Broodmother, clear Spiderlings are fine. It's true, but with a low cooldown this ability, you get them back up. If you've ever been in a situation where your house was infested by, say, ants, you know that it has to be the queen that you have to kill. Killing the individual ants will do nothing, you gotta murder the queen. And in the case of spiders here, very similar.
Yeah, that's already first Roshan, 14 minutes in. No Deso on the Weaver, just plenty of physical damage thanks to Blizzy bringing in the boys and girls. All the Spiderlings. Lion trying to escape. Searing Chains are going to miss, so he is going to live. Kiritych, though, in danger, just needs to run away. Dusa, by the way, building into the Diffusal Blade.
But Dusa's building into the Diffusal Blade, okay. To fight early?
I guess so.
I mean, it's a good way to deal with a Weaver. Oh, they found the Ancient Apparition yet again. Blizzy has a Swarmer's... just trying to divert attention by going an opposite way. That was a crazy Icarus dive. Of course, punished by the Hex. And Aincrad wants to go further. Rolling Thunder. What can he find? Apparently nothing. Aincrad's back home. Oh, unless Nefrit? No, he's just playing around.
No, they're just too mobile, Alvo. Like, that's the reason why this game feels about impossible for them. If we can get a blink on Lion, maybe we could look to punish a lot of this aggression and really fundamentally change the way that Extreme are playing this game. But, I mean, even the Spiderlings are stealing from the Chosen One. He's heading into his jungle, but he's quickly realizing, Blizzy's farming everything on the way back out whilst pushing top lane and diverting a lot of our attention. I mean, again, it's just this brood pick really has become such a thorn in their side. And another issue you were talking about when you were referring to the ants is we have tools of killing the Broodmother, but very much like a Sand King, that same tool is also your escape mechanism for Aincrad. So as soon as that comes out and he doesn't have Rolling Thunder, enemies will just jump onto him. And of course...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and of course, we've got the heroes that can very quickly close the gap on the side of Extremum to do that.
What I was going to mention is that I don't think Rolling Thunder is even that great of a tool. The tools you need for Broodmother, I mean, you have the Lion. Lion's good. Earthspike, right? Primal Roar, Duel. These are the tools you need. But Blizzy, okay. I mean, if you are in that position, but even then, look, Blizzy, just go up a cliff. Just go up a cliff, and you're fine. There we go. It's like you're a cat, and there's the dog there trying to chase after you. Just run up a tree, and you're fine.
The fireman is here now. He's gonna cut down the cat from the tree, except it's actually a razor pinned to the trees now. Sunray and even a sharpshooter. Down he will go. Kill going to Melojul.
Can you imagine
mid lane?
if it's, mid lane. There is an initiation here
There's no
by
follow-up.
Nefrit. So many bugs at this. Nemiga need a real exterminator. It's impossible. You need to deal with the swarms, the broodmother, and her broodlings, which are now starting to multiply to a ridiculous degree. And here we get the Nightmare Fuel territory, where once they leave the webs, they just multiply, and you see that there's actually 30,000 little broodlings.
Yep, yeah, it's when you flicker on the lights and open your kitchen cabinets and go, oh, no thank you. Deal with that later. Thank you very much. Except the unfortunate reality for Nemiga is it'll only get worse for them. Mid lane. They are able to get a pickup. Oh no, it's G getting to pick up onto the Lion.
Yeah. They don't quite kill off the Phoenix with the Ice Blast there. Was close though. Blizzy, meanwhile, just hasn't left this lane. They went once in the middle lane because they saw Ancient Apparition, moving lanes. He thought it was unacceptable. Besides that, he's just been pushing alone. Aincrad deals with the Spiderlings. Again, good. This is what you have to do. But now how do you kill Blizzy?
Yeah, and he's going to be taking your tower here. Oh, Lodin has been scouted by Nefrit, and not much he could do here. And Nefrit even uses the time lapse to make sure he secures the kill. Top lane, they're going as well for Aincrad. Reinforcements are coming from Nemiga. They're going to try and punish the squirrel instead, turning back onto the spider, but there's now going to be a big problem. It's a Supernova. We've at least dealt with the Broodmother as Blizzy has fallen. Supernova stun not catching anyone here as the Chosen One looking to try and get a little bit more damage in. Plasma Field slowing G to a crawl, but he's already got 4 staff. Shuvash is going to be able to TP out after the Bushwhack onto the Pangolier. Nice. G looking to do the same with the Sunray. He is at least cut down here by the Chosen One. 2 kills here for the offlane. Razor is going to go a long way to help him recover. But there's still a lot of work to do.
But of course, lost the Ancient Apparition earlier in that fight anyway, or I don't know what you can call it. You just lost it once more. And Lioness Quell dying. You dove pretty hard to get a tier 2, and that was still an objective you managed to take for yourself. I don't think Shimmer's too sad about that. Broodmother is okay with dying as long as you create space for Nefrit, and with the Maelstrom, it seems like that's the case. Can we check Dusa's items for a second? Because I want to see. I heard she was going for Diffusal Blade.
Yeah.
Diffusal Manta. As a way to deal with Weaver, I like it, honestly. I think Diffusal, especially with the extra agility against heroes like Weaver, who mostly have physical damage, is actually decent. It gives you that tank ability to a degree. So, not bad. I'm surprised Nefrit didn't go for his own Diffusal Blade this game, but maybe he's just trying to be more of a carry.
Yeah, it looks like he's just looking to scale, because honestly, he's not been necessary in any of these fights, right? Like, he's been here, he's been picking off, solo kills. He got them to do Roshan with the DD room, but, like, he is maybe just trying to keep pace with the Dusa, because I think despite all the, I don't want to call them theatrics, because it's, of course, all strategic moves from Extremum. Despite all the moves that they've made, despite all the space they've taken away from Nemiga, there's only so much you can do to stop a Medusa from farming, and that's this, right? Nefrit looking to try and run her down. There's the Diffusal onto Nefrit. Unfortunately, no follow-up is here, despite the smoke play from Nemiga. Canceling that Rolling Thunder is going to be Aincrad, as Nefrit is just a bit too elusive for them right now.
Chu takes the outputs for now. Nemiga, they still have a Dusa though, so as long as this goes into a late game, the chances are never gone for them, which is good. Last game, it seems like their window of opportunity was limited. This time, their window is... It's opening the more the game goes, so it's not too bad. Blizzy. Okay, a bunch of Spiderlings. They're not going to get caught out. Instead, it's him. They go for the Queen. But can they kill her? Apparently not. The Ice Blast? Okay, that's going to set up for the kill in the end against Blizzy. In exchange for the Lion, but seems worth it. The Spiderlings, though, are killing Lodin. And they can't really catch up to Nefrit. They're lacking the stuns without the Lion existing there. Nemiga did lose 2, but in exchange, yet again, it's Blizzy dying. Not the worst trade yet again. At least you're stopping the Broodmother from putting more space.
Okay, Avo, I do see one weakness in this Extremum lineup that I think is exemplified in this fight. They just don't have a lot of lockdown, frankly, right? Like, neither do Nemiga, but the issue is we're only really getting kills onto the 2 supports, and, those are acceptable losses, right? We get the Broodmother in exchange for 2 supports after a smoke gank. We take those. They've yet to really get too many kills onto this Pango, too many kills onto this Dusa, only the one. And of course the Chosen One as well, having a really rough laning stage. He's got a couple deaths himself, but there are more issues with the Razor. In fact, he could take another here, as there's all the control that they have. Used to set up for the kill, but the Dual Scepter is going to save the Razor. Ice Blast in the meantime does not catch G. He 4-steps away in time. G, by the way, who is going for a Heaven's Halberd on the Phoenix, already having the Sange completed. He's got good farm as well on this Phoenix, nearly catching up to the Chosen One's farm.
Let's see what the Hoodwink. It could be the Hoodwink could be in trouble here. In fact, no, they're actually gonna catch up to the Ember. The Rolling Thunder, that Blink Dagger working wonders for them.
They got him?
And the high gun, not even needed there. They finished them off. Chuvash does get the TP away. No, actually killed by the puzzle field. Chosen One, however, might suffer the same fate, as Nefrit does have enough damage to bring down this Razor. However, that kill mid lane against the Ember.
Okay, hold on. G is in trouble, doesn't have mana to cast Supernova, so he will be taken down. 3 kills, first of all. Great fight for Nemiga. They just lose the Razor, but they get a big pick off here onto both supports, and especially that Ember mid lane. Nefrit didn't take the mana break talent. He instead went for the 12 strength.
A golden thread.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't go for the Fusel Blade, so it seems to be, again, like I said, Carry Weaver. Just go for a bit more stat resistance. You just not itemizing against Dusa, playing the more optimal Weaver lineup. Instead, thinking that something else will deal with Dusa, or you might just out-tempo her naturally because of Weaver. That's my logic behind what he's doing.
Okay. Well, so far, he is starting to close the gap here on the farm. That Maelstrom doing a lot of work, of course, with the Geminate attack. Still synergizing nicely with that. Blink Dagger now for Heaven. Going into the Shard. That'll help, but again, we have so much physical damage that it's not going to be the be-all, end-all that we've seen this Lion Shard be. As Dusa is farming up a bunch of Spiderlings. Down they go. Bunch of gold for Kiritich.
Okay. I mean, getting to the point where Dusa might just be too strong, right? Is Extreme just taking their time? Is just taking too long for this to work? I feel like Nemiga has done a pretty good job.
Ice Blast, they caught Nefrit, but not enough damage. Yeah, he time lapses it off. Now Anchored needing to escape, Blink into the trees. Mellow Jewel is going to guess incorrectly. Off and away goes the mid lane Pango.
So let's not forget, guys, in case you haven't seen a Weaver in a long time, time lapse, much like Sunder, does give you back your HP regardless of the Ice Blast. So that's why Weaver was also a pretty solid pick up here, making sure that Nemiga can't quite kill off Nefrit here. Gonna go for a real shot. This is to up their tempo a bit. They need to get something done soon. They know that Dusa eventually will get online, and they can't idle for this long. They've taken good towers, but it's been a bit of a standstill for the past 2-3 minutes.
It is. Roche just murder all of the Spiderlings there with the bash, but Ice Blast, of course, getting the assist there, but it's not going to do much to stop them from finishing Roche. Second Roche as well. They've actually given Ember Spirit the shard? Really? Okay.
Yeah? Well, not against it, to be honest. It's a pretty good shard. Getting more of those remnants to make the team fight more chaotic. Again, target first to the fight. Gonna get rid of the Ice Blast, potentially doesn't have it yet anyway. They kill him off with the Bushwhack. Actually, Sharpshooter not even needed, but in exchange they'll lose Blizzy. So it seems like a good fight for now for Nemiga, especially if they also take God's Life. It's gonna be 2 easy kills the way of Nemiga.
Good Bushwhack.
Nefrit needs to make good work of this. Nice Bushwhack with the BKB active by Nefrit. He does not want to fall to this line. Kiritich can't quite run away. Has used a Stone Gaze earlier. Root. There's the Bushwhack though, send him back, but it seems that they don't have enough damage to deal with Kiritich quite yet. Dusa a bit too strong.
Yeah, that's for the first BKB as well, used for Nefrit showing up in these fights. Not too much damage versus the Dusa. Yeah, she is, of course, not weak whatsoever, especially now with Eye of Skadi completed. A Quicksilver Amulet, which is very, very nice as a Medusa. Your projectile's not too slow, not too fast, right in that Goldilocks zone, but now going to be buffed even further, so Eye of Skadi debuff is going to be huge. Perhaps that's the catch that they need, because that will really, really slow down our Weaver and make this kind of, in and out game a bit harder for him to play.
Extreme, they are looking for another initiation though. They don't rely on big ultimates, so they should be trying to fight between these Stone Gaze uses and these Rolling Thunders. I mean, you have Supernova, but we haven't really seen that being effective. Lodine, oh my goodness, Lodine. He has started to enjoy this. So, like, he likes living on Knife's Edge. It's adrenaline. It gets him going. Maybe dying is also something he enjoys, like that episode on Black Mirror. Got a taste for it. 2.8k net worth, man, compared to the Hoodwink 6k. It's 26 minutes in. This is barely, you barely got 100 gold a minute on this Ancient Apparition.
I mean, yeah, when you put it that way. 193, of course, because it doesn't count consumables, of which he's bought many sentries to make sure that they can try and keep, whatever semblance of control of their jungle. I'm just hoping that they can find space to farm here as Nefert. He's just set up here to bully Karateech and steal all the farm. They're going to scout him here. There, he's underneath the... Oh, he's got BKB. Okay, goodbye, Lion. Karateech, though, is a bit too hard for him to take down. So Nefert will just take the bounty rune and be along his merry way. Blizzy, though, really interested, seemingly, in taking the issue here. Blizzy might have gone a bit too far, though. He's in a permabash zone, and in fact, turned into stone by the stone gaze means he will fall. Bit of an unnecessary death from him, I think, in retrospect.
Yeah, you're running out of damage against the Dusa. I can't stress this enough. You're not going to win this if it goes late game enough if she gets online. Weaver's not going to be able to beat her. It's a decent core-to-core matchup, but eventually outfarmed by Dusa. And even then, she just scales better than you do. Without the Fuser Blade, you don't really have any itemization against her. Elio Caesar, everyone against Dusa yet again. But I've seen this story play out a couple of times, and it seems like Karateech wins every time.
And in
fact, they actually caught up to the Weaver.
They missed the Earth Spike again. I mean, I say they missed the Earth Spike. It's so hard to catch it on to him, right? Hard to blame him there for missing these Earth Spikes against a hero who all of a sudden gains max move speed at the press of a button. Not to mention going invis with it. Speaking of max move speed, Nemiga setting up around this haste rune. It's going to be bottled now by Aincrad, as they will make aggressive moves into the enemy jungle. We still have this Aegis we're playing with for another minute, but the rest of Extreme, I'm kind of spread around the map.
And, I mean, this is ideal for Nemiga. The more idle time they get, the better for them. Eventually, yeah, Dusa will just become unkillable. So now Extreme need to rethink their strategy. Broodmother's starting to fall off as well. And even, I mean, Razor does not really need it. As long as you have a Broodmother, you're fine. Sorry, a Medusa, you're fine this game.
Broodmother is seemingly starting to slowly move herself down bottom. Okay, now the webs. She's in the progress of trying to find a new brood, just spreading the webs, looking to move herself around the map, still while farming efficiently, still looking to keep a couple of lanes pushed in, and just trying to make sure they can get as much done as possible. There they go, though, onto the Broodmother yet again. The Blink Dagger forward from Lion will catch her. The Finger of Death, still not enough damage, but Aincrad with another bash out of the Rolling Thunder will secure the kill.
Oh, the Broodlings, at least ensuring that they get a kill on Heaven in exchange. But once again, it's Blizzy dying. It feels like Blizzy might not need to do these plays any longer, you know? I mean, I get that you're desperate to try to make things happen, but it's been a couple of times, it's like 5 or 6 times, honestly, you're just dying for free here. Aincrad, thank God, does hit the Supernova, and even the Heaven's Halberd, actually. But Aincrad's fine, he has the roll-up himself. Nefert won't be caught here. But Nemiga's just trying to stave off the aggression from Extreme at this point.
Oh, look, it's the Skitter Dusa. It's Skitter Medusa. Orchid on the way here for Karateech, along with that 30 attack speed into the Bloodthorn.
Careful, though. They say if you say Skitter Dusa 3 times, Kyle makes a tweet about it, so you have to be only say it once. It's only the Orchid.
There's
no
right.
Midas here.
Okay. I mean, I like the idea. What's it for? I guess it's going to be for Weaver, right? Because there's just no lockdown for him, so he's not really concerned with a Lincoln Sphere or, just the BKB is enough for him. BKB, of course, still going to be an issue if they can get a Hex and the Orchid off, but he'll always be able to dispel it, so I'm wondering if this is really going to be enough. It does provide a problem for Ember, though. He didn't go for Yules.
It's Orchid for Weaver and Orchid for the Emperor as well. So it's 2 sources. Or 2 heroes you want to lock down. I think it's quite a solid pickup. You don't really have anyone else that can build that lockdown. Like maybe Razor later on in the game, but he's very poor. And you want Pango to continue to scale. Even if he goes for Basher, it's not reliable enough of a lockdown. So I do like the choice of the Orchid here. I think Bloodthorn's pretty solid on you as well. There's the Basher as well on Pango. So we're starting to itemize into the late game, fixing your issues, which is without Lion, we don't really have much lockdown. So, and of course the Rolling Thunder. So we'll start to build a bit more to make sure that we have multiple options to the team fight. Well, Extreme, honestly, I don't know. They seem a bit lost right now as to what they need to do in the game. They haven't done anything pretty impactful.
Yeah, and that's weird to me because it feels like they are correctly identifying that, hey, this Dusa is a problem, guys. They've got 2 Heaven's Halberds, right? One on the Phoenix and one on the Broodmother. we've got a Pipe of Insight to try and, you know, pillow or cushion the impact of the burst magic damage that the two supports from Nemiga bring. And yet they're still not really finding these fights together.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Like, I think if you told me that Extremum are itemizing correctly or incorrectly against the Dusa, I would go, I'm really not too sure. I mean, what more would you ask for here on their course? Maybe a Shiva's, but I think that's probably in the works here for someone. Just to, again, reduce that physical damage from the Dusa at this stage.
I don't. Yeah, but is that enough? Like, how do you kill her though? It's great to be able to do.
I
need
get
damage.
it, yeah.
I think if you don't get Daedalus on Weaver, I think that's the only option you have. Even Rapier, maybe you might even have to consider Rapier at this point.
Well, he's got MKB now, so that's going to be a good damage item, as the smoke from Nemiga is going to swing around to the Radiant Secret Shop. Wards planted is not going to let them scout much. No one really showing on the map, as there goes Blizzy just checking in on Roche. Oh, okay, and as keen as they are, they hate the spiders, and they're going to kill a spider. See spider, kill spider. Blizzy in a lot of trouble. Silenced now as well. The Manta style used to just burst through the spiderling army, as well as the Broodmother herself properly. Down she goes. It's a long Roche, though. 90 seconds till he's back, so we'll have the Broodmother by then.
Yeah, but you saw what we were had to do there. You just look at Kiritage, time's away. Even with a bushwhack, I just don't think you kill Kiritage. So the Supernova needs to be on point here. I think that's maybe your last tool against the Dusa. We'll see if that's successful enough. Or maybe they can kite her, but playing a really hectic team fight. If Extreme has it in them, that's always an option. You kill everyone around the Dusa. Oh, Stonegate has been used. I don't know if that's going to get to her in time. There's the Ice Blast hitting. Big AD by Nefrit. As the other time lapse, he does not, but he can just run away. Kiritage, it loses support there, and they're trying to play around him. Like going for everyone but Kiritage. It's working out for now, the strategy, as Nemiga hasn't gotten a single kill just yet. They're looking for 3. Nice Rolling Thunder bumps into 3 heroes. The supports might just be dead here, as that egg is not going to... Oh, never mind, it is going to last. Because of the disarm of the poor Dusa. He's trying to run away with the Supernova, but Kiritage is still a bit too strong. With a Bloodthorn trying to kill off the Ember. Nefrit doing his best. She's out of mana, but Nefrit's frozen. Which means Nemiga will kill Nefrit. Kiritage does die there.
He buys back?
Blizzy deals the last
so does
of damage. He does buy back. Because they want to continue fighting this. Chosen One has to TP away. Blizzy trying to bring him down, but no stuns to stop that TP. And Nemiga will decide to re-engage near the Roshan. They know they want to lose this Roshan, but they have no stone gates just yet for the Dusa.
Okay, just a nice back and forth fight between the two. Dusa, of course, doing almost all of the damage. This game is starting to break down into what feels like a 4-protect 1v5, if that makes sense, right? Where this Dusa is getting a lot of buffs, a lot of lockdown here, courtesy of Aincrad and the Lion. No doubts there. But we're starting to see that this Dusa is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in these fights. Acorn shot. Aincrad, though, looking to try and punish the Squirrel. Force Staff is going to be able to avoid, at the very least, the Ice Blast. A second Force Staff to try and dodge Aincrad, who has gone for the Aghanim Scepter now. And there's going to be that 2 times multicasted Swashbuckle coming into handy, as he has bought out for that Aghanim Scepter.
That is casted, right? It's only half a Swashbuckle rather than multicast, but you're right. And now they can take the Roshan. The Spiderlings are coming in, not going to last against the Swashbuckle, lagging our game ever so slightly. Roshan falls.
Oh, gee, almost. He was so close to actually picking up any items.
That was quite hopeful, I think. If Nemiga had been even slightly faster. It's okay. It's a good attempt. He didn't die for it. Nemiga was certainly not expecting that. I think in the last fight, though, they did a good job. They killed Kiritage, but he's only getting stronger, and it was already a gargantuan effort coming from Extremo.
Look at this. Net worth, or that's XP, but net worth is starting to reflect the same. And this net worth graph just falls off a cliff here for Nemiga after that last exchange, even including the buybacks. It was just kind of this slow build for Extremum, and then at some stage, you know, quite literally a point of inflection hits, and it's just all now for Nemiga after these last couple of fights. Dusa already up to level 25, has gone for the split shot, uses modifiers. This is normally where he who shall not be named goes for the Mjolnir. That's Skitter, of course, but this time around just using that for the Eye of Skadi procs as well. And Diffusal,
2 times.
actually.
You've been warned. You've been warned. Don't say that again. Blizzy, there's the Ice Blast, and once again, Aincrad has figured out the way to deal with a Broodmother. just get an immense amount of mobility and take advantage of Blizzy's incredibly aggressive position. Blizzy just wants to be useful, but he's not finding the avenues to achieve that.
That's now, what, 8 deaths on the Broodmother? Yeah, 3, 8, and 11. Here I was the entire early game, or the entire draft panel going, what do they do against the Brood? What happens to the Broodmother? The Chosen One now, even just with, getting the farm in, now that all its abilities are max, is actually pretty darn mean as well. That Halberd will last 5 seconds here versus the Weaver. And of course, Weaver, I mean, this is essentially a break for him as well, this Halberd, because of course you essentially disable Geminate attack during that duration as well. So it's doubly a good item here versus the Weaver. He's got himself an AC, Eul Scepter. I mean, he's, starting to actually have quite an impact in these fights as well, just by existing.
Yeah, that's true. And that's because Razor just could farm back up. Like he's never a core that falls out of fashion completely, right? If you're giving enough space. I thought that Extremum would be able to push their advantage a bit better, but clearly not the case. And Kiritych is now pretty confident to go to the high ground. Nice evasion of the Bushwhack there. What do they do against her? She can lead. She has Aegis. She has 2 lives. Let alone killing her once, try killing her twice.
Yeah, we're going to be finishing off the Hurricane Pike here. Next item for a bit more attack range, as Meliul's going to maybe look for the back line. He's got a Remnant back, and we'll head back to those immediately. It's Kiritych just tanking through the whole thing here. Did go for this Mystic Snake mana gain talent as well, not the Stone Gaze duration, as Aincrad is in, looking for Chuvash. Ice Blast now incoming from pretty far away out from Lodin. Unfortunately, it's not going to catch anyone, as Blizzy just looking to get the disarm onto the Deuce to save the barracks a little while longer.
Okay, backdoor protection will kick in, so they won't be able to deal with the racks, but you're not going to stop Namika from... I mean, they're going to stay there forever, right? This is their base now. Bloodthorn just in case. You want to keep harassing me? I'll silence you. Bushwhack? Oh, okay. Maybe that put her out of position. Mystic Snake came back, and she's back. Okay.
Aincrad's taking the Rolling Thunder cooldown talent here at 25, by the way, rather than Swashbuckle. I like it, actually, because it's kind of what's keeping Extremum at bay here. They do need to be real careful for that. Weaver, by the way, also up to level 25, has gone for the Geminate attack talents.
He did go for the Rolling Thunder talents in general, right? Because he went for the Shield Crash CD and Ball. So that means that you are able to take advantage more of the Ags on top of that. Like, the synergy is definitely there. He thought about this. Swashbuckle damage, because that means the 2 slashes of Swashbuckles are a bit stronger. The cooldown is not benefited by the Ags, and instead you go for this build to just be the strongest ball in the world.
Yes, that's his goal. He played Katamari Damacy, and he went, you know what? Imagine if you could shoot spikes out of this thing.
He was actually a pro Katamari Damacy player. That's what people don't know. Before he joined the Dota scene. That's why he mostly plays Pango and Mars. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kiritych then right up top lane they go. There's one more tier 2 tower remaining. Aegis is up in 35 seconds, so Extremum might just be able to outlast this push here coming from the Dusa. As they are, again, looking for these backliners. Aincrad, though, trying to protect them. They've blown up the Weaver. He's dead for 2 minutes without buyback. This Supernova, this time without the disarm, is going to be scrambled as Blizzy's taken out just as fast. They open a can of raid on his ass. Nefrit now Meliul rather, taken down immediately as GG is called. The Dusa is too large, and we'll get Demiga to a game 3.
Okay. I think we saw an inverse of what last game was, honestly, where one team just couldn't do it given a certain point, and yeah, the Deuce is too strong, honestly. Extremum, much like last game on Namika, should have done a bit more into the early mid-game to make sure that the draft kind of worked out. They were very confident, and there was a moment where Blizzy, I think, flew too close to the sun. And he started getting burned over and over again. Except as opposed to drowning, it seems like, Namika jumped on him and like kept him down. Shh, it'll be a second, and then Blizzy died 6 times in a row.
Well, it's just a true Greek tragedy here for Extremum in game number 2, as they will now go to decisive game 3. When we're back after a short break, Danny Laughlin will join us to break down our second game a little bit more.